I grew up in Connecticut. There were a group of kids who used to make fun of me because I was Chinese. They're dead now. Then when I was 15, my parents got a divorce, and we moved to the East Village. Yes! From Connecticut, a whole house, washer and dryer in the house, to a studio apartment on 7th Street, between A and B, right on Tawkin Square Park. I was like, yes! This is unbelievable! My prayers, everything. I know what you're thinking. I shaved my pits. It's a Chinese thing. We have no body here. Just one of the many reasons we're better than you are. I'm sorry, people. I too went to Stuyvesant a long time ago. Frank McCord was my English teacher. Hold on, he wasn't that good a teacher. It was way before you won the Pulitzer Prize. By the way, that's given out by Columbia, and I dated women from Harvard. Another story. So I'm in this studio apartment. I'm like, oh my God, there's other Asians. There's Vietnamese Asians, Filipino Asians, Korean Asians, all kinds of Asians, and then there's artists. My mom at that time was a communist. She used to read me bedtime stories from the Red Book. She was a carpenter and an oil painter. She had dreams. Dreams of this being a better world. And then she built housing in war-torn countries. Nicaragua, El Salvador, and the East Village. So when I want to blow an audience's mind, I go, I don't think people should have to pay rent. Exactly. Look, the Indians didn't pay rent. How long ago was that? You were so stuck in your frame, your little box, climbing your little ladder to get ahead. Don't look at my armpits. You wake up inside your apartment, inside a box. You go to work, your work consists of you staring at a box. You come home at night to relax, you turn on the box. When you die, they put you inside a... Let's break your frame open. How many years ago did Indians not pay rent? They didn't believe in that. Don't get me wrong, I love America. The greatest company. I'm sorry, country on the earth. So my mom was clever, because she's Chinese and there's over 1 billion people. You better be clever. First of all, they got here. This was the late 70s, early 80s. She got a whole floor in an abandoned building for $150 on 6th Street between A and B. Let me repeat that. We bought a whole floor for $150. I don't think people should have to pay rent, but I did pay rent, $184. And then I was forced to move. So I sold 1.2 million. Life is good. You can go around in your life climbing the ladder like it's a grindstone. You gotta do A, then I get B, then I get C, then I get D, and then E happens at F. Or you can tap the unconscious. Say you're a communist, and you believe that all rent should be free. Then you get a floor for $150. Think of it like an iceberg. This is the tip of the iceberg, what's above the water, what you can see above the unconscious. And some people think that the conscious mind can take in 2,000 bits of information at a time. That's like dial-up internet, remember that? Like 6 years ago. 2,000 bits of information. And the unconscious mind, this vast iceberg, your unconscious, can take in 500 billion bits of information. Let's repeat that ratio. 2,500 billion. It's not even close. Your unconscious mind. So I was forced out of this apartment. And I get $380,000, my share. And I think, what is America good at? That's some shit. What is America really good at? Apple, Google, and Ford. That's it. So I put the money in Apple, Google, and Ford. And then I sell Apple, some of it, when the iPhone 5 comes out, because that's the last thing Steve Jobs had his hands on. And I make more money. Like, this is great. Tapping your unconscious and hanging out with really smart people. Some people surround themselves with stupid people. That say, yeah, you're right, man, you're right, you got that, you're right. I surround myself with people that are smarter than me. A guy went up to Henry Ford, a reporter, and said, asked him a question in an interview. You know, what's the tensile strength of steel? And he goes, I don't know. He goes, what do you mean you don't know? You're Henry Ford. Pressed a button on his desk. Guy comes in the room, and he goes, what's the tensile strength of steel? The guy answers. He goes, I don't have to know the answer, because that guy knows the answer. It's a bigger picture. You can think small, or you can think big. Do you guys know about low-income housing? Round of applause if you have low-income housing. Rent control, rent stabilization. Then I don't have to talk to this section. In New York City, there's middle-income housing. So this is funny to me. Low-income housing, basically 20,000 or less. Then there's middle-income housing, maybe 30,000 to 130,000. In any other city, besides San Francisco and New York, if you're making 130,000, you're doing fucking good. Like, buy everybody a drink, fuck it. But in New York City, you can qualify for middle-income housing. So I bought a second apartment, 110th Street, top of Central Park. I'm like, yeah, there's only so much beachfront property. I want to live on Central Park now. Do you know there's a hidden 9-foot waterfall? How many know about the waterfall? 2 people. All right, you guys study a lot. Hidden 9-foot waterfall. And I get it for 1/4 of the price, because I make between 30 and 145,000. Like, this is great. Now you're starting to hate me. That's cool. And the people hate me my whole life. I used to live in Connecticut. Moved to Harlem. And I didn't like Harlem. Harlem people are normal. I used to live in the East Village. 3 o'clock in the afternoon, it's crowded. I'm like, what? I mean, I know how I'm making money. How the fuck are you making money? Shit. Here, people in Harlem work 9 to 5. Then they go home, they cook dinner. The streets are empty. 8 o'clock, They go out and they dress up. They're not like hipsters and shit. They dress up. This means some shit. I'm spending $15, $20 on dinner and then drinks. I'm gonna dress up. I'm like, oh shit, I'm underdressed. I don't even have sleeves. And I like Harlem. Harlem and the Bronx are the only places I've ever been where I've seen people triple park. I can understand a double park, you know. You got some shit to do and you can't park. I seen a triple park. That's bizarre. So you have to go in the other lane of traffic to get around the gym. Wow, I'm in a different world. And people in Harlem, a lot of them from the South. And they have manners.
Yeah, we do.
That's right. You can yell out loud, I don't care. I went and saw, this is the difference between white and, you know, whatever, downtown. I went to the Quad, 13th Street, and I saw, what's that, Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, martial arts film. And I'm like laughing, I'm like yelling at the screen. They hushed me. I'm like, what? Did you just hush me in a martial arts film? And then I realized where I was. Surrounded by art people. You don't talk back. It's not a dialogue, really. It's not a conversation. It's a mon-versation. In Harlem, it's a conversation. I went to my building meeting. We voted on some shit. Then after the meeting, I was like, did we just vote on that shit? You don't know. This is like, Harlem, the difference is, this is socialism. You're supposed to give back. In the East Village, it's hard to make a friend, because everybody is. I'm just saying, there's a much better way. I'll give you one last tip. A lot of people will fuck with you. That's what they do. They come at you and they start flapping some bullshit at you. Blah, 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 blah. You have to do it this way, you have to blah, blah. I pretend there's a waterfall between me and the person. You ever been to a waterfall and sat underneath the waterfall?